Fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell out before you blow up a plane.
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what, good thing to say, I dabbled in stand-up for something. I have no disrespect for you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt. I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean. Oh, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr podcast. You can listen to this podcast. Oh, gosh darn it. We're everywhere. iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Rumble, Rockfin, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Friendster, MySpace. You know the thing. We're all over. Please like and subscribe. Please subscribe to my YouTube. I am inching closer and closer to 100K subscribers. I can't wait to put that delicious silver play button right there above my January 6th podium. Oh, it'll be great. Before I bring on our fabulous, gorgeous, smart, amazing guest, I have a quick word from our sponsor. Oh, that's right. It's the Great U.S. Treasure Hunt. What is the Great U.S. Treasure Hunt, you ask? Well, it's like a scavenger hunt where you can win thousands of dollars. It's very exciting. In fact, even there's an update to it. But before I discuss that, please listen to this brief video.
The Great U.S. Treasure Hunt. We've delivered winners from all over the U.S., awarding thousands in prize money. We've hidden 10 coins in public. And for the first time, we give the clues to their exact location in a comic book format. 10 states, 10 coins, 10 clues, $10,000. One comic book. The Great U.S. Treasure Hunt. The hunt begins October 15th. Order now. thegreatustreasurehunt.com.
Hoo-wee! Wow. I have some updates to this, by the way. Very exciting. At first, there were 10 coins. Guess what? People have been finding these coins. Okay. They have been snatching them up left and right. They have 6 winners already. So I guess they added another coin. So there's only 5 coins left, but they've also dropped the price of these books. They're making a PDF copy available for new buyers. So if you buy now, go to thegreatustreasurehunt.com using promo code CMP. You can get $5 off, but you'll also get your PDF version within 24 hours. You'll still get this hard copy of the book, the comic book, but the PDF will be delivered to you immediately. So you can get out there and get finding these coins. It's very exciting. You can team up with different people from across the country and split the prize money, half to whoever solves it, half to whoever finds the coin. They're all over the United States. They're hidden, not buried, so you don't need a shovel or metal detector or anything like that. The clues are in a comic book just like this. You can use the illustration and the text to find the exact location in the United States. These books have already begun to be mailed out. They started mailing them out October 22nd. So order yours now. Go to thegreatustreasurehunt.com and use promo code CMP to get $5 off. Do it now, guys. I think this is going to be my last ad reads. This is your last chance. The remaining coins are not going to find themselves. Get out there, put your dang phones down, get out in the world, get yourself some money, make a friend, do it as a family. All right, that's enough of that. I'm excited to have this gal on today. This is her first time on the show. She is a national news host for Real America's Voice. Welcome to the show, Emily Rose Finn.
Hey, Chrissie, thanks so much for having me on today.
You look like you're in an old library, and it looks like it smells of mahogany where you are.
Yes, this
Old
actually
books.
is my boyfriend just bought a new house in Manalapan, Florida, and so this is everything that came with the house. So these are not my books; these are the books of the previous owners. But it made for a great backdrop for the podcast today.
Wow. Why wouldn't one of they wanna take all those, hundreds of encyclopedias with them?
Chrissy, I'm telling you, this house is absolutely incredible. They have so much beautiful artwork everywhere, like paintings and stuff. I mean, I guess they were just
Wow.
over it. They were out, ready to go.
Yeah, they're like, "You know what? We're done. We're old. We're done reading. We're done learning things." They maybe they were retiring to
Yeah,
somewhere.
maybe it's time to run for president if you're that old.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Emily. We're definitely gonna get into all the drama around the upcoming election, all the back and forth. I love it. I love to see it.
No
And then
shortage of drama for us to
there's
talk about.
there's so many little clips I'm gonna play, but first, I'm sure the people would love to learn a little bit more about you, how you kind of got into the news industry. Was it always a dream of yours? Did you start out a brainwashed leftist like myself, and then a mule kicked you and you woke up one day and realized, men aren't so bad and maybe I'm a little bit more right than I realize.
That's
Uh,
hilarious. Well, I will say I have been a very far right Republican from birth. I mean, I've always felt this way politically. But I found my passion for journalism. I'm going to give you way more details than you ever needed to know. But I was in high school. I had super, super strict Republican parents. And so they never wanted me to wear yoga pants. This is when yoga pants were still kind of like
okay.
risque, a little sexy. And so I was in high school and all my friends were wearing yoga pants. And I'm like, man, I just really wish my parents would like, just let me be like everyone else. And so I took
Just want
this
to
super
wear
easy class, Journalism
yoga pants.
101. Our first assignment was to write a letter to the editor, and my teenage angst decided to write about how no one should wear yoga pants in high school. And I had argued that it was, when you're going to school, you should be preparing as if you were in a professional career, in a job, dressing nice at school, same way you would dress at your job. This article got published in our high school newspaper and I got death threats. I had a police officer escorting me from class to class because the students
No.
were so upset about this opinion piece that I published. And Chrissy, I fell in love with journalism after that. I was like, I can influence the way people think, people care about my opinion. Okay. So
Wow.
it was
And
just
the girls were like, "No, the people must see our ass cracks. This is our."
hilarious. So that kind of sparked all of it. And I, at the time, wanted to be a writer. I wanted to write for like the New York Times or something. I never saw myself being on TV at all. But by the time I got to college, I was taking journalism classes and realized, okay, nobody is reading anymore. You got to do something visual for people to actually pay attention. And so I went down the broadcasting path. And the only internship I did when I was in college was at One American News Network. It was all the way out in San
Oh.
Diego, California.
Yep. I've been there.
I was at Central
Mhm.
Michigan University in the middle of cornfields and snow. And so I thought, San Diego, OAN, national news. Yes, let's go see what this is all about. So I was just a writer throughout that whole summer. That was summer of 2018. And at the end of it, I went to the CEO of the company and I said, hey, give me one shot to prove to you that I can anchor. That's all I need. Just give me one show. You never have to see me again. My internship's almost over. I think he
Wow.
appreciated just that I even was confident enough to ask that. And so he gave me 1 hour at the end of that summer. I was 21 years old, anchored a
What?
whole hour-long show, and he liked it, hired me back as an anchor. And man, it's been a pretty unconventional path since then. But I, like I said, fell in love with journalism at an early age, and then kind of jumping into the OAN realm of things really opened my eyes to the conservative side of media. And so after
That
a
is
quick
so
little stint
great.
at News Nation, I am back to conservative news at Real America's Voice.
That is so amazing. Emily, your middle name should be Balls. Your name should be Emily Balls Finn because it takes such balls to even know who the CEO of a company is as a 20 or 21-year-old, let alone like write an email to them or walk right up to them and ask for what you want. My gosh, I don't even have the balls to do something like that. Maybe
Well,
after some drinking,
I will
but
say
that's
it was a very
incredible.
small company, and I will give props to Mr. H, Robert Herring. He was very much involved with all of the employees. His office was always open. You could go in and talk to him anytime. And so I just took advantage of that opportunity.
What do you love most about other than being able to, like, kind of shape people's opinions and make a difference, like, what else do you love about journalism? Like, is there a particular type of story you like to cover? Is it politics, or do you ever like mix it up and be like, oh, a dog got a bucket off its head and we were following him for like weeks? I don't.
Yeah, I
That's just
mean,
what concerns me.
when I was at News Nation, I was general assignment, so I've covered literally everything. I mean, I covered tornadoes. We covered a manhunt for a accused murderer, and there was a dog. And just because you brought this up, a dog that actually was the one that tracked him down and found him in the Allegheny National Forest in Pennsylvania. So that was a wild story too. But politics is definitely my bread and butter. I think it's the most important thing that we can be talking about right now. It's such a contentious time in politics, and so that's my go-to. But if there's one thing that I love reporting on more than that, it's China. When I was a little girl, my dad did a lot of business over in Beijing, and it actually inspired me to learn a little bit of Mandarin. So, ni hao, what a zhongwan hong bu hao.
Oh no, she ni-howed her way off the stream. Wait, she's back. Okay.
Okay, yeah, it's very fascinating
We're
about
gonna
the Chinese culture. If anything ever happens in Taiwan, I hope I'm deployed immediately to go report on it.
Okay, we're gonna have to hear that Chinese again because I want to make sure you got a little cut off, and I was very impressed. So
So I'll say "What a megua zhen, what a zhongwan hong bu hao," which means I'm American and my Chinese is really bad.
no, it sounds Chinese enough to me. I think that sounds great.
Yeah, well, thanks. Hopefully, if I ever have to go over to China, that I'll be able to
That
get
is
along with the
so
locals.
neat. What do you like the most about China?
What do I
I was
like the
I don't know.
most, or
I
what am
think
I most concerned about?
yeah, I guess I'm a little bit concerned slash nervous about China. I don't know. I feel like they slowly but surely want to just like take over, and there's I feel like they're sneaky. I feel like they've stolen a lot of our intellectual property. Yeah, I guess I want to know what your biggest concerns are.
Yeah, well, let me say this. There was an interview, I think it was on CNN actually, with Bill Barr. This was in either late 2020 or early 2021 as that transition was happening from Trump to Biden. And the person interviewing him asked, what's our biggest threat, from a foreign nation? And he's like, without any hesitation, he said China. 100% China. China is our biggest threat. We're not doing
Hmm.
enough to be able to protect ourselves from all of, especially their cyber attacks. It's really awful. But something that I've reported on is Chinese nationals coming over to the United States and buying up American farmland. I don't know if you've been
Wow.
seeing anything about this.
Yeah.
It happened in Michigan. It happened in California. I actually spoke with Congressman Garamendi quite a bit about this because he was trying to put a stop to this massive land grab that was by an Air Force base. Literally, you could build towers to be able to peer into the Air Force base, to be able to
Oh,
spy on our precious military operations.
it's very
And it's like
sus. Yeah.
how it got to the point that, a CCP backed company rather was even that close to being able to buy up that farmland. I mean, are our politicians sleeping at the wheel? Like, how
Yeah.
is this even possible? In Michigan, it was Goshen. That was the name of the company there. They were trying to do the same thing. And it came from the people. It came from literally the local community, the locals in Michigan. They had to stand up and they had these, they weren't really like press conferences. They weren't really protests either, but they were just gatherings of people coming together to be able to talk about this and say, okay, we got to put a lot of pressure on our leaders here because they're not doing anything to stop it.
I think with your Chinese language skills, like I could see you being working in kind of like a being like a James O'Keefe girl, and just like maybe you trick like a Chinese man, and I don't know, something about like you learn secrets and like something with seduction. I don't know. I feel like I see that as a possible
Well,
maybe
Chrissy, that is
side
a
hustle.
huge, huge compliment because I am such a fan of James O'Keefe. I actually had
Oh,
the opportunity and the pleasure of attending his movie premiere at Mar-a-Lago for A Line in the Sand.
cool.
That's
How
his
was
movie
that?
talking about the invasion at our southern border. And I was literally brought to tears multiple times throughout this movie. There was one point that they talked about one child, a migrant child that was brought over here, was in a shelter. And these are all NGOs that get a ton of funding from our federal government. But this shelter, when you look at like the sponsor program, like if you're going to sponsor to host a migrant or a migrant child at your house, it's like there's no checks that you really have to go through. You could be just like a regular guy, you could be a criminal, and you could be sponsoring migrants. And so this one case of this one child at a shelter was bounced around between at least 4 different homes of known sexual abusers. I mean, I have chills even talking about it right now. Can you imagine what that child had to go through at all 4 of those different homes? I mean, it's egregious,
horrible.
absolutely egregious. And I give O'Keefe such props for the work that he does.
Yeah, there's I mean, I don't even know the number. It's huge. It's over 100,000 of missing. Maybe it's 300,000 of missing migrant children. It's
I'm
just
not
like,
sure of the statistic, but you saw that guy. There was a press conference the other day where he was like, "Kamala, where are the children? You can't be the border czar and just lose all these kids. Come on."
ugh. Yeah, this has been a very interesting election to watch. Yeah, I mean, and then you have people that are like, "Oh, this is the emotions are all over the map." There's people who genuinely think, "All right, Trump's running away with it this year." There's people who are like, "How can you trust the polls? We didn't trust the polls in 2016 or 2020. What makes you think that they're going to be accurate in 2024?" There's folks who think of voting early is the key to avoiding, fortification shenanigans, that sort of thing. We're on YouTube. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. So I want to know what your thoughts are. Have things gotten safer, more foolproof? I think the Republicans have done a good job of just getting out there and registering more people to vote. I've seen, and I think we've wisened up a bit. But then again, like, you never know. I'm holding back from being optimistic at this point. I'm gonna just wait and see. But I want to know what your thoughts were
Yeah,
going into this one.
I am kind of in the same boat with you. I can't really. I feel nervous. I feel nervous that he's doing so well. I pulled up the RCP Real Clear Politics polling average before this podcast, and it's insane. I mean, he's doing so well. He's up by zero point 0.4 points on the national average, and in the battlegrounds, all 7 battlegrounds, he's actually up in a point. Like, that doesn't even feel right. Like, oh my goodness, in 2016 the polls were so wrong. 2020, I mean, the whole election was confusing with COVID being a major factor. And so I don't know if I trust the polls necessarily, but I completely agree with you that we have to get more and more people out there. And I mean, look at what Elon Musk did single-handedly in Pennsylvania. I mean, the early voting turnout has been record-breaking there. In Georgia, they had record-breaking voter turnout in the first couple of days as well. So hopefully no one gets too comfortable and no one we need people to be fired up. We need people to be getting out there and voting more. And I must say, I think Joe Biden is the biggest help right now with his garbage comment yesterday. I don't know if you saw this either. This just happened a few minutes ago. He's at the White House for a Halloween event, and he was nibbling on a little baby again. It's like, oh my God, I think this guy wants Trump to win.
We have that. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was like, no way is he back up to his baby nibbling shenanigans. But sure enough, yeah, the man cannot help himself. God, I don't even know what event this was. I was like, because this looked like a little kid in like a turkey costume, and I was like, we haven't even had Halloween yet. So here we go. This is it was a Halloween party. Oh my God. I don't know why he doesn't have anybody close to him being like, Joe, like, say hello, acknowledge the baby, but like, do not try to sniff or bite or kiss, tickle, chomp on the baby.
I mean,
here he is. Oh, they're playing this.
So weird. So weird.
Why?
And
this
I'm
is
sorry,
something you can do. You can do this to your own grandkids.
Mother? Why isn't she like, don't touch my kid?
Because you're probably in a state of shock, or maybe she's just dumb and she didn't know that he's got a history of this sort of creepiness. But maybe she's just a big fan and like
if I was accused of being a pedophile over and over and over again, that's the last thing that I would do. I don't think that there's anything like weird going on here. I think that's meant to be a little like grandfatherly nibble, but like still,
yeah.
You don't do that when you have all these weird allegations against you.
Yeah. You can't do this. You can't get this close with a strange baby. You can do this to your own grandkids, your own great grandkids, your niece, your nephew. If there's some relation, you can't just be like, I'm meeting you for the first time and I'm gonna like take a chomp on you. This is just, and yeah, the mom is. Where's the mom's like protection instincts? Like if I saw somebody, like even if it is like the current president going in close, I would just instinctively kind of take them away. But I guess this woman does not have those kind of instincts.
I know. Well, this is why I keep saying, like, I genuinely think that Joe wants Trump to win. I mean, the garbage comment, the timing of that last night during Kamala's closing statement, that rally that she had, and now doing this the next day. I mean, come on. It's like he's trying to sabotage. Look at that photo. Oh my God. It's so cringe.
He's definitely not going to be pardoning this turkey.
No.
Oh my God. This was bad. Yeah. So he, just to see the White House scramble over these comments, anyone who hears the clip, it's very, very clear that he's referring to, out of spite, like a spiteful get off my lawn old man, that Trump supporters are garbage. Here's the clip if you guys haven't seen it yet.
Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization is seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American.
Conscionable.
It's incredible that the one time he was actually able to string together a coherent sentence, it was something that really helped Trump's campaign.
And this was the official White House transcript that they put out. Terrible. The only garbage that I see floating around here is his supporters, '*S. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. So here's the White House trying their best to spin what he said, where anybody who has ears can hear very clearly what he said. And it's really interesting because I think free speech is a really big important value of a lot of us, and especially going into this election. And it's funny that they had Tony Hinchcliffe, who's fast becoming a household name. He's had a really wonderful year. He was on the Tom Brady roast. He's just, people who are comedy nerds have known about him for quite some time. He's the host of the show Kill Tony, which has just become more and more popular. They've sold out the Garden. They've just been doing wonderfully. And so he was, I believe, the first to speak at Trump's Madison Square Garden rally. And he had some jokes that landed, some jokes that maybe didn't land, but it's hard. It's like, it's a lot of people, and it's an event that's not really set up for comedy. You're really there just to warm up the crowd. And he's getting a lot of vitriol for his comments. And again, people are so quick to say, oh, this is racist. Really, he didn't call Puerto Ricans garbage. He was really just making fun of, I guess, government and the fact that they haven't dealt with the trash problem on the island of Puerto Rico. He's not calling the people trash, but I think the left is so quick to attach anything negative to Trump and demonize him. And I think they're pissed because he is doing so well with Latino voters. They're just like, ooh, anything we could possibly do to make him look bad.
I think you're completely spot on. But can we take a step back here and just acknowledge that it was a joke? It's a joke. No one's supposed to take this seriously at all. And it's kind of, it's hilarious and embarrassing that the left is trying to turn this into something serious. It's like, and first of all, he was just a guy, not just a guy, he's a very funny guy, but he was opening for Trump. It's not like, Trump was the one who said this. It's not like it was a campaign statement or anything. Right. I mean, I think this is just like wildly getting blown out of proportion.
Yeah. And Trump handled it so beautifully, because if there's anything I've learned from celebrities, the best way to combat news that maybe you don't like is not to address the thing, but to make more news. I mean, he did address it. He's like, oh, I don't really know who that comedian is, but I love all people. I love Latinos, et cetera, et cetera. And then he goes ahead and he makes more news by doing this wonderful publicity stunt, getting a garbage truck literally the very next day after these comments. And here is just a little clip, because I'm thinking, like, how the hell did he get a garbage truck so fast? And I think people are willing to move mountains for Trump. But here is just a little snippet of how he got that truck.
So this outfit, is when he called us all garbage.
I guess this was in Wisconsin.
Stupid. What a stupid word. That blows deplorable away, don't you think? Of course, I thought irredeemable when she said deplorable or irredeemable. I thought irredeemable was actually worse, but deplorable seemed to catch up. But this garbage stuff blows it away. So I'm in this beautiful plane. I'm enjoying myself. I have a wonderful suit on. And
Yeah,
one
that
of
makes
my
sense.
people came in and said, "Sir, you know, the word garbage is the hottest thing right now out there. The hottest thing out there. Sir, would you like to drive a garbage truck?"
Look at this crowd.
Now we're about, 30 minutes from landing. We had to do this pretty quick. I said, "It's sort of cool though, isn't it? Because, and I said, I think that's okay, but, I don't feel comfortable wearing a suit." And they pulled up this garbage truck. I don't know how the hell they did it so fast. I have very capable people. They put a big sign on the truck. Did you see it? I think they showed it. Yeah.
I want to guess the part where he talks about why he's
And
wearing
then
the
they
vest.
said, "Sir, we have a vest." I said, "Well, should I leave my suit on and put it over the vest?" But that doesn't look very good, right? That doesn't look good. So I said, "All right, look, let me take it off." And then I actually said, I climbed into the truck, but so I said, "How the hell do you get into this truck? It's way up high. It's a big one." This was a beauty. I said, they brought this brand new, gorgeous truck, wonderful, this beautiful driver, and he drove that big thing up. And I said, "Man, this is bad because now I have all the cameras are all watching. Look at all the fake news. They were most of them."
This is all without a teleprompter, by the way. He doesn't need one.
Now, most of them, many of them were there, and I'm saying, "Oh boy, one little mistake with these guys, and your political career's over. You can't even." So I said, "Man, if I don't get up there, this is going to be very embarrassing." These stupid people, they'll say, "He's cognitively and physically impaired." And I can't do that when I'm alongside of this great athlete. I got to get up to that. So look, the first stair is like up here. I'm saying, shit. So I had the adrenaline going and I made it.
This is why people love him.
They ask their wife.
And it's the same thing. This is why people comment on why he was so great at McDonald's too. He didn't act like it was below him. He had fun with it. He still kept his tie on.
This is the party of joy.
Right. Oh my God. The left is losing their joy at a rapid race. A rapid rate.
And then we drove about 2 feet. I got out, got into the plane.
I drove 2 feet.
And then I got in the car and I'm driving over here and I have this still on. And I come into the arena and I say, "Where's my jacket? I want to get out of this thing." And they said, "It would be unbelievable if you could wear it on stage."
And the crowd goes
He's
wild.
so fun. He's so fun. It just continues the troll to have him do the speech in the gym.
I like how he says that. And he's like mean mugging, looking at everybody. Like, "Yeah, I wore the vest. I wore it."
And I said, "No way. I got 25,000 people standing outside. I got all these people here. There's no way I'm wearing it on stage." They said, "Oh, okay, sir." I said, "Get me my jacket. But if you did, it actually makes you look thinner." I said, "Oh." And they got me. I said, "I want to wear it on stage." When they said
That's
I
so
looked
funny.
thinner, I said, "In that case, I'll wear it on stage."
He's like, he has the timing of a stand-up comic. That's really helped him so much throughout this whole thing.
Oh,
He's so
absolutely.
lovable.
Kamala could never pull something like that off. She could never talk without a teleprompter like that. Never be that authentic. I mean, he really is a special person.
He really is, and he's having fun. And I love that he answered questions from the truck. He's just like, he's like, "You can't avoid me in the truck." Just like he took the questions from the McDonald's.
Yes.
This is him a little bit taking questions from the
How
truck.
do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden. How do you like my garbage truck?
That is graduate level trolling.
This is Razor saying the biggest Uno reverse ever recorded. And this is what happens. It's now people are not talking about the Tony the left is going to keep talking about the Tony Hinchcliffe joke, but more people are going to be like, What did he's driving a garbage truck around. Why? Oh, because Biden called his supporters garbage. And then now that's what people remember. It's really brilliant.
Yeah, they always have a very special way of spinning. The same thing back in 2016 with the basket of deplorables. This garbage one, though, I mean, there's just a lot more fun you can have with it.
Oh, yeah, I immediately had to post a picture on Twitter of myself, with a Trump hat on, like, inside of a garbage bag, and it makes for a very affordable, like, Halloween costume. I think we're
For
gonna
sure.
see a lot of those tomorrow.
Yeah, this is my shameless plug for our show on Real America's Voice. But I told my team that I was going to be wearing a MAGA hat and a garbage dress tomorrow because I'm a Trump supporter.
A garbage dress?
Garbage
Oh, wow.
dress, garbage bag dress.
I mean, like, the dress you're wearing right now looks like an extremely chic garbage bag dress. I don't mean that as an insult at all. Oh, I'm not saying it looks like a garbage, but it is, like, black and shiny and very cool. I have a dress that looks just like that, actually. I mean, it used to fit me before I gave birth. One day, I'll keep it. I'll keep it in the maybe one day again pile. What is Real America's Voice? What's the plan for election day, for coverage? Where are they, sending you guys?
Yeah, so we have teams that are going to be all over the country, and all the battleground states will be monitoring the results as they come in. I'm pretty lucky. I'm actually going to be at Mar-a-Lago watching all the results come in live. So I will not be live reporting on election night, but I will be there during the day as everyone's kind of getting ready.
Having a margarita. God, what's it like? What's it like to be at Mar-a-Lago?
It's absolutely beautiful. It really is. It's a cool atmosphere, a cool environment. There's a lot of, you turn this way and you see Roger Stone and you're like, oh, hey, how's it going? You turn this way, you see Speaker Mike Johnson. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
And when Trump comes out for dinner at night, everyone stands up, they play the national anthem. It's just a very patriotic, very MAGA kind of place to be.
That's so cool. Have you ever seen anybody like very drunk there? You don't have to say who.
Very drunk?
Yeah, anybody like gets super hammered there?
No, I wish I had a fun story like that to share, but no, everyone there is kind of on their best behavior for sure.
Well behaved. Okay.
Yeah.
I would probably get drunk. I'd be there. I'd be like so excited, just nervous drinking. Here is so Kamala, I think, is freaking out. I think she is melting down, especially after this clip here. I think this was from one of her last rallies. People were chanting Trump, and listen to what she says right at the end.
He is elected.
It's like mixed. You're like, what are they saying? And they're like, oh, I think it says they're saying we love Trump.
It's all good.
Yeah, we love Trump.
I'm here because we believe in democracy. Everyone's voice matters, but I am speaking now. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking.
She's unhinged.
He is elected.
She completely lost her cool. Just like at that rally where somebody says like, what, Jesus is Lord? And she said, you're at the wrong rally. She still hasn't recovered from that comment.
No, I don't think you can recover from that. I mean, my God, you're just kicking Christians out of your rally. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. But she just, my God, I wonder if she even wants to win anymore. I see a woman that is just so defeated on the campaign trail. She can't answer any questions. She always reverts back to, well, I was a middle class girl or whatever she says. And it's like, man, word salad left and right. Hard to even understand what she's running on. I don't even think she wants this anymore. I think she wanted it really, really bad up until the point that she finally got Joe out. And now she's like, oh my God, I'm not cut out for the job.
Right. Because it was, you think they would introduce her to it like a little bit at a time. But she was barely highlighted. She was, I think, barely a focus through Joe's whole presidency, and she was very much in the background. I found, like, I don't know what she was working on. She wasn't really speaking at things. She wasn't really out much. She wasn't at the border. She wasn't out there. She wasn't visible. And it seems like she's just thrown to the wolves, like really thrown into the spotlight. And they probably figured, all right, well, we can't run Newsom or Big Mike or Whitmer or anybody else, because then we can't use Joe's, PAC money or anything else. So they're just like, okay, sure, Kamala. She's brown, she's female. I guess let's go for it. And everyone forgot how bad she sucked,
But
which
think
is why
about this for a second. They had every opportunity to have Biden just completely step down, right? Just completely get out of the picture and have her actually be president for a few months
Right.
and have some kind of a record to run on, do something that you can actually campaign on. And they didn't
Right.
even do that for her. It
And
feels
why
like
not?
it feels
I
like
think
they
Biden
knew
didn't
that
want to.
Joe had to be the one running the country while she focused entirely on this. I mean, there's a reason that when she was VP, they didn't put her out there in front of people to talk, because she can't. We're seeing it now.
Wow. This is an interesting comment from Hans. What do you like, German or something? No. Heaps of other countries have already had female presidents and prime ministers. It's not a big deal. It's not that it's a big deal. It's that Kamala is to a T a DEI hire. She was not. She never was ran on a primary. Even when she ran for president in 2020, she was out kind of right away. And of all those people, she's kind of the person that deserved it the least. And to see her just move up the ranks so quickly, just because she's like a brown woman, basically, it's kind of insulting to people who are actually qualified.
Absolutely.
So it's not that,
And to be quite honest, I don't really give a shit at all that she's a woman or not. I mean,
yeah.
I actually agree with this guy's comment. It's not a big deal at all. She just really sucks as a person.
She's just a terrible candidate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree with you. I don't think she enjoys it. I think the joy has left the building. She's not having fun. She's not having fun because this is not coming easy for her. She's really struggling. This is really hard. She can't be honest. She can't do a 3-hour Rogan. It had to be 1 hour. He had to go to her. And Rogan doesn't need that. He's bigger and more influential. He can have on whoever he wants. He's having JD Vance on tomorrow.
Yes,
So it's like it's her loss.
Completely her loss. But let's actually think about that for a second. The VP pick. She picked the worst VP of all time. Tim Walz. Are you kidding me? This guy was advocating for after birth abortions, for God's sake. Tampon Tim, that's gonna be your running mate? That was political suicide, in my opinion.
I wonder if she felt like, like, since I'm horrible, but I am a DEI hire, she's like maybe thinking like, oh, I do kind of need like an old white guy to kind of balance me out. I wonder if that was the thinking.
I'd be so upset if I was him. He was a much better pick. I don't know why she didn't go with him.
Yeah, but definitely Harris-Walz. It's the most, not only like leftist, but just radical leftist ticket we've ever had. Matthew Hammond in the chat. What's up, Matthew? Is Barron Trump a political John Wick in his suit? Oh, he is super duper tall. I love Barron. Tereen's Lunatic. Why is the left always angry even when they win? Because I think they want people, I think they use fear a lot. It's one of their main tactics to get people in line.
I'd have to agree with that. That's how cancel culture even became a thing.
Yeah. Because they're just not fun. They don't have a sense of humor. Oh, Rhinoceros, thank you for the orange boy. Imagine Chrissy with the fam at Mar-a-Lago and just had a bit too much fun. And Grandpa Don and Melania nursed the hangover. Oh, God. Yeah.
That is quite the story in this guy's head.
That would be cool. Yeah, me throwing up in the pool.
I'd hold your hair back, Chrissy. Don't you worry.
I haven't been drunk I haven't been drunk since before I knew I was pregnant. No, I was.
Well, huge congratulations to you. I take it that was fairly recent that you had your kid?
Thank you. He's 6 months old. I didn't know I was pregnant for 7 weeks, but then you talk to other moms and they're like, we all drink in the beginning. It's okay. We didn't know. And as long as you don't drink between like 7 and 12 weeks, you're okay. That's my little PSA there.
All right.
TMI. All right. Thank you, Rhinoceros. Let me play this little clip. And what's also I've seen get increasingly more desperate are the celebrity endorsements. Here's a clip of Billy Eichner. Billy Eichner is also responsible for Bros, which came out, if you remember, 2 years ago. It was supposed to be a gay rom-com. It was basically softcore porn. I had to watch it for Friday Night Tights to do a movie review, and it was pretty brutal. Anyway, so this is Billy on the street. This is their tactic. He's dragging around Will Ferrell, thinking.
Oh, I was gonna say, is that Will Ferrell? He looks so
Yeah.
different.
He looks a little crusty.
Billy, I am back on the street with the one and only Will Ferrell, and we are out here today to represent a very important voting demographic: loud white men for Kamala Harris. So you ready, Will? Sir, we're loud white men for Kamala. Join the call.
Join the call.
Hell yeah, I'm in. Yeah, who are you voting for?
Kamala Harris.
Yes, exactly. Have you voted yet?
Mail-in ballot.
Oh, mail-in ballot, bitch! Miss, for $1, would you have sex with a Trump voter?
No.
Thank you. Sir, we're loud white men for Kamala. Join the call.
Yes.
Yes.
I support Kamala.
Yes, that's not that loud, but louder?
Oh, louder.
Yes.
I support Kamala.
Louder!
I support Kamala.
Yeah! Miss, did you hear if Kamala wins, she's going to make Buddy the Elf Secretary of Christmas?
That would be phenomenal.
Would you have sex with a Trump voter?
Ugh.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sir, loud white men for Kamala. Join the call. Go Kamala! Yeah! Yes! For $1, for $1, for $1. Who are you voting for? Yes, there you go. Yes,
It's like kind of funny, but then like
I
she's
think
very
I'm scared to watch
starstruck.
it.
They're very starstruck, but when you think about like, oh God, this isn't just a funny show. This is them like desperately trying to promote.
I have to go. Yeah. Tell everyone in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania to vote for Kamala.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania is watching Billy on the street.
Yeah, I don't think so. Wow, this is
Stroudsburg,
crazy.
vote for Kamala.
Oh wait, sorry, it skipped a little bit. What did you say?
I just said this is cringe to the mask. Or to the max.
It is,
Sorry.
it
Will
is
Ferrell,
cringe.
why
And
are we doing this?
I wonder, these people I don't think this is random. I think these people were pre-selected, because like, what are the odds you get somebody who's like insane and stabs you, or like an illegal who can't speak English?
I'm sure they definitely edited this out to not have the bad takes in it. There's no way that they went up to people on the streets and everyone wanted to talk to them.
Right.
Please, sir. Loud white men for Kamala. Join the call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are you voting for?
Kamala.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Corey.
Corey. Corey for Kamala.
He's probably just like, oh my God, I love Will Ferrell. I'll say whatever you want.
I will say, as much as I don't agree with any of that, the Secretary of Christmas thing was pretty funny.
Yeah, it is cute. It's definitely cute. It's going to be interesting. Do you think how soon after whoever wins, whoever's in office, how long do you think it'll be after that where they start going? Do you think Joe Biden will just fade into the background, like sipping Metamucil on a beach for the rest of time, or do you think reports will start to come out like, oh, turns out he's heavily more demented than we thought. He's really unwell. Do you think those reports will ever come out?
Actually, I have a feeling that he's way more corrupt than the mainstream media has led us to believe up until this point. The Hunter Biden laptop was completely censored. And finally, years later, mainstream media outlets had to come out and say, oh, we were wrong about that. It actually is legit. And so I have a feeling if Trump makes it back into the White House and, gets all of his people in there, that there's going to be a lot of investigations into the Bidens. I mean, you think about Hunter Biden being on the board of Burisma, a Ukrainian gas company that he had zero qualifications for. That doesn't seem right. 10% for the big guy that was one of the text messages on his laptop. What does that mean? Now, I will say all of the committees that they put together to investigate this haven't found any hard evidence yet, but I have a feeling that it exists. I have a feeling that there's just too many things coming together here. And maybe I sound like a conspiracy theorist. I don't know.
No,
but I'd like to do a lot more research to see the ties that they have. And they got ties to China too. Maybe that's what I need to use my Chinese skills for.
Yes. You could be Honeypot Emily. The chat is very excited about that idea. And plus you probably get a clothing budget to be a honeypot. That's what I've always thought about.
Perhaps.
Maybe when I lose the baby weight.
You're happy about that. Uh-oh. Hopefully he's not watching the podcast.
When I lose my baby weight, I'll be a honeypot girl. Yeah, that is interesting. And that just showed me that the way they covered up that story really put such a light on, like, oh wow, the more true something is, the harder they will go to
It's
censor it.
so true. It's really, really sad to see. I mean, even the silly stuff they try to censor. We were talking about the Joe Rogan podcast that he did with Trump, and you couldn't even find it on Google the next
Mhm.
day. Please explain to me how that's acceptable. And
Yeah.
how have we not learned our lesson from 2020, where literally all of the CEOs of these major big tech companies, Mark Zuckerberg had to go and apologize to Congress, and he basically admitted to infiltrating our election through the misinformation that he was sharing on his platform and packaging it in a way that he was trying to cut down on misinformation. It's unbelievable how anyone
Mhm.
still gets their news from social media, unless it's X today. Is that's really scary to think about. As a Gen Z person, I know too many people my age that literally get their news from like TikTok and Instagram. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, guys, do your research.
I think it's a good 25% of your people. You're responsible for all the Gen Z people, Emily.
I am their spokesperson.
that get their news from TikTok. But it makes sense. I probably get probably 60% of my news from Twitter. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not much better.
Twitter is totally different now. I have tremendous respect for what Elon was able to do with that platform after he got it out of the hands of Jeff
True.
Dorsey. He freed the bird.
I can't. He did free the bird. I can't imagine what this election cycle would have looked like had Elon not been in charge of Twitter.
That's a really great point. A really, really great point.
It's scary. I wonder if there's like a alternate universe that we could see. No, I probably don't want to see what that would look like. So here is Karine Jean-Pierre trying to cover up for Biden after the infamous garbage comment. Here she is.
Here we go.
Americans who support Trump than he does of those who do not? And two, why is he using that kind of rhetoric? How is that presidential?
So a couple of things. So just to clarify, he was not calling Trump supporters garbage, which is why he put out, this is why he wanted to make sure that we put out a statement that clarified what he meant and what he was trying to say. And so just want to make that very clear for folks who are watching.
Like we have to, we really have to tread water pretty hard.
How ridiculous. And their statement too. There was I think it was Jackie Heinrich at Fox News, if I'm not mistaken. I might have that wrong, but it was a Fox News reporter that had a hilarious tweet. She said that apostrophe, where when they released that statement where it said supporters with an apostrophe, she goes, that apostrophe is doing a lot of heavy lifting. And then she called them out and said, if it was actually proper grammar, it would go after the final S. And I'm like, oh, girl, calling them out.
Right. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good point.
Sometimes when I see Karine Jean-Pierre, I miss Jen Psaki. Don't you miss the, let me circle
know.
back on that.
I would like Karine Jean-Pierre just wants to say circle back and maybe throw on a red wig for old time's sake. Yeah, I wonder who the speaker is going to be. I wonder, I mean, it looks like it's going to be Vivek, Tulsi, RFK. I mean, is Tucker going to have a position? Is Elon going to have a position?
I mean, cabinet, for sure. They were already talking about like the, I don't know, government accountability or efficiency office or something that he was, going to start. I don't know. I'm excited. When you vote for Trump, you're not just voting for him. You're voting for all of these rock stars. I mean, we have so many power players on our team. The left just simply doesn't have it. I mean, that's why they in 2020 had Biden as their candidate. I mean, not a great candidate back then. Obviously, couldn't even make it throughout these 4 years to be able to run again for another 4. And now we've got Kamala, and the options that they were considering other than her were Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer. Oh my God, what a train wreck of a human being. Did you see her Dorito communion moment, whatever the heck that nonsense was?
I heard about this Dorito thing. I'm going to try to find it. Hold on.
Oh my, it's worth it. It's that cringe and that weird
I heard about
to watch.
I heard about it, but I never saw it. Okay, I'm just going to search Kamala Dorito.
I think Whitmer Dorito might.
Oh, it's Whitmer Dorito.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, no, Kamala had a different. She had a clip of her in a gas station buying. Ew! It's her just feeding Doritos to somebody. Weird. Oh God! Okay, this. Ew.
So cringe, right?
It's a little disturbing. Governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer appears in bizarre video feeding Doritos to a woman. What? Is there more to this?
This is it. This is the whole video.
I don't get it.
What?
Who is this supposed to be?
I guess she's some TikTok influencer girl. I have
okay.
absolutely no idea who she actually is, but this was like some trend that they were doing. But how uncomfortable. I mean, you don't have to participate in every trend. I mean, that's just strange.
Is Doritos sponsoring them or something?
Oh, who knows? Would you
Oh,
be
it's supposed to be-
surprised? One of their
it's,
biggest donors.
It's supposed to be like Dorito communion. Ugh. Okay. That didn't really hit. Not funny. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's for people that are fans of that girl.
Yeah. Regardless, it looks very, very strange. And I know there were a lot of Christians that were pretty offended by it. Now, I'm not the type of person who gets easily offended by dumb stuff like that, but it was certainly weird. I certainly had some questions for Whitmer after that.
Speaking of being offended, yeah, I hope Trump wins just because I feel like comedy is going to be made illegal, just like we're seeing in a lot of these other countries, like kind of more like in Europe. I don't know. It's creeping up this way too, that you can get put away for tweets, hate speech, and that sort of thing. So this clip made me, if you're not familiar with Tony Hinchcliffe, I think this clip is going to make you fall in love with him. Here is just him. This is the clip of him on his show Kill Tony, where he's kind of messing with this kid here who said he suffered anti-Semitism.
Identify as
a Jew.
Oh, you are a Jew?
Yeah, that's why I made a Jew joke.
Oh, okay. I make Jew jokes all the time, and I got nothing.
Yeah,
other than
funny.
my agent and manager, I have no real connection with them whatsoever. Okay. What? No. So what do you do that makes you Jewish? How do you celebrate being a Jew? Do you take off Saturdays?
Yeah, I was actually very religious when I was in college in New York. But I came back home because I faced anti-Semitism.
Anti-Semitism? Is that a black woman? Anti-Semitism and Uncle Semitism would mean to me.
Where's that motherfucking challah bread?
Hey, my anti-Semitism told me I need to move the fuck out of her house. Anti-Semitism. I've never really.
Oh, this guy here in the gray, he also plays Joe Biden. There's like a really funny clip of like Shane Gillis as Trump, and this guy, I gotta know what his name is. I'll have to look it up later. But he does like a great Biden impression too.
I heard it called that before. I normally hear anti-Semitism. What do you think?
Yeah, you can also call it Jew hatred.
Yeah, what type of? I hear this, but it's kind of funny because, like, if you make fun of an Italian, there's no word for that. If you make fun of everybody else, it's racist. You guys have your own word. How does that make you feel? What does that mean? What does that tell you if your people have a special word for racism? What do you think that means? If you take yourself out of the picture, what do you think about your people having a special word for just you?
Because everybody hates us.
That is the correct answer. Correct. Very good.
Weirdest game show ever.
Like he's up here. This guy, these are open micers. They're trying to get noticed and get positive attention for their stand-up. But what does he do immediately? He leans on like, someone was anti-Semitic to me. Oh, I got made fun of, thinking that would earn him victim points, right? And Tony is having no part of that. And I just thought what he said was perfect. Let me see if he says anything.
That was great. I will say the anti-Semitism part, I didn't even get it at first. And then after he got going, I was like, okay, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. Is Mario Lopez hosting this?
There's some very fun things I can do when it's not streaming live. So what did they do to you? What exact type of anti-Semitism did you face?
I got spit on. I got death threats.
Where was this at?
College.
In
New York.
New York City?
Yeah. Outside Long Island.
Long Island. And
I know, a Jewish stronghold, right?
There's a lot of, again, only you people call it a stronghold when you're populated there. Why do you think?
That's great. I'm from Long Island too. Anyway, I just am a big fan of him. I think it's wild that a comedian made national, probably international news just from like one of, not that it was like a bad joke, but it was like it was like a little bit of a meh joke. Like I've seen his roast jokes are incredible. Like he really can tear into people when he wants to. And I'm sure for the Trump rally, he was kind of going mid-range because it was a mixed crowd. And just you never know what jokes are gonna hit or get attention like this. And it really inspired this, like now this Trump truck, garbage truck moment wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Tony.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I will say one last thing about this clip that you just played. This Jewish kid, he gets death threats and he gets offended. I got death threats and I turned it into a career. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Grow up.
We all get death threats. I had people who were, the second I announced I was pregnant, oh, I hope he's retarded. I hope he dies. I hope you die. I could check my well, I don't really check Facebook too often, but that's where a lot of the death threats sort of collect. Anytime I have a tweet that goes a little viral, but I think that's neat. It just, this election cycle has really hammered home the power of comedy, and also that the mainstream media, I think, they're so terrified of podcasters because of the reach and the relevance that they have. And really just, I think boomers are the last demographic still watching the legacy media. And after all the boomers die, I don't know, are they going to be able to keep going? I mean, they'll probably just keep going and they'll just play in airports and nobody will really watch it because it's all subsidized.
Yeah, it is really sad. I mean, working at News Nation really opened my eyes to a lot of this. I mean, this is a network that has the backing of Nexstar. They have all the money you could ever imagine, and they just still cannot get people to watch them. Their ratings are terrible. I mean, I just don't, I think it's hopeless for those kind of legacy media, for news, TV news in general. It's a little hopeless at this point. Everything is going to start going to X. Everything is going to be podcasts. Everything is going to be a la carte streaming down the road. And so, I don't know, I encourage all of my colleagues in the industry to consider maybe going independent, going on your own, doing something a little bit more streaming. It's way more fulfilling. Let me just say that.
Yeah, and I don't know how we're going to have another election cycle that does not involve candidates doing podcasts ever. It's going to seem weird if we go back to them just not doing podcasts again. I think it's going to be like almost an expectation at this point because
I was really happy to see Trump really prioritizing that in the end. But I'm going to give credit to one of your viewers had a comment about Barron. I'm going to give Barron all of that credit. One of my coworkers at Real America's Voice, Gina Loudon, her son Bo, he's like 17 years old, but he is so dynamic and so talented.
Wow.
All of these big name people in to talk with Trump, and him and Barron kind of go back and forth. And so it's the younger generation that's really pushing for the podcast here, which is the future. So it's time for people to, I don't know, wake up, get on a podcast.
Get on podcast, people. Deranged Lunatic says, okay, who determines what is hate speech? Right? I guess it would be Kamala if she were to win. I think it's, it depends what your motive is.
I just really dislike this term, hate speech. I mean, it's only, it doesn't apply to everyone, right? It doesn't apply to the white girl. It's only hate speech if you're not a white girl.
It's okay to hate white people. We've had it too good for too long, Emily.
I don't know about that.
I know. I was like, I'm pretty sure I eat expired food, like once a month, approximately.
Yeah, going back and looking at my pictures when I was a cookie maker at Mrs. Fields, when I was a waitress at California. I was a fry cook at my college cafeteria. I've had life better than other people. Like, come on.
I don't know. I would love to work at Mrs. Fields Cookies. That sounds pretty good.
I gained a lot of weight that summer.
So looking into the election, what states do you think, what's your prediction? What states or swing states do you think Trump definitely has in the bag? And what do you think, which states might be a challenge or a toss up?
Yeah, I think Michigan is going to be really, that's going to be the tough one for him to win. Actually, just looking at the polling data right now, which I know we kind of determined earlier that we don't really trust the polling, but Michigan has been the one yesterday and today, the only one that he's actually down in. And it looks like Wisconsin too. He's losing a little in Wisconsin. So good that
he has the garbage truck in Wisconsin. That'll turn it around.
I bet that's going to turn it around by tomorrow on Real Clear Politics. But I think Pennsylvania is pretty locked in. I mean, he did a lot of work in Pennsylvania. That's where he had his McDonald's moment too. Elon has been there. They were giving out checks to people I guess that was nationally, but giving out checks if they were getting registered to vote and vowing to uphold the First and Second Amendment. I mean, they're doing a lot of work. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Kamala does have like just so much more money and so much more support. So
And
at the end of the
Beyonce.
day, though, if your messaging sucks, if your policies suck, if nobody even likes you, you're inauthentic, you know, as a candidate, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how many ads you take out. You're still going to lose the election if the other candidate's better. So I think the biggest thing that I want to watch for is just cheating at this point. You know, we saw at Portland, Oregon, there was a ballot box that blew up. There was an explosive device in it. I mean, absolutely unbelievable.
Maybe there was a beeper in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that moment on CNN?
Oh God. Yeah. It's so crazy.
That was a crazy moment. But typical CNN to,
yep.
If someone accuses you of being a Nazi or a terrorist, you get rid of the guy that, you know, makes
Oh yeah. What was that guy named? I can't remember. I'm blanking on the guy's name, but
his name is Ryan Gerdusky.
Ryan Gerdusky, right?
I think what happened to him was really, really terrible. He was making a joke, for God's sake, and to not be welcomed back on that network after the guy that he was talking to was implying that he was a Nazi. So how is that any better than what he said? And he actually said, "I hope that your beeper does not go off."
Right.
Was not inciting any violence. Wasn't
it
wishing
was
anything terrible
obviously
on
a
him.
joke.
It was a heated argument. Like, come on, let's grow up here. How old are we that we can't have a civil conversation? You're going to ban this guy from your network because of that?
You know what it is? It's because he was being challenged. He didn't like being challenged. A lot of these talking heads like to just have people around them who are yesing them all the time. That way they don't have to think. They don't have to like critically explain themselves or, you know, rethink their positions. And this guy was posing a challenge and it was obviously a joke. But since like they were the type of people like, oh, well, you said this. So conversation over. They make it about the comment instead of the conversation as a whole. And it's a very loserly, manipulative tactic. And
yeah, well, I
we
mean,
see
I
it
think
all the
that's
time.
why CNN's ratings have just been absolutely tanking in recent years. No one's watching their network anymore. No one even gives them any credibility anymore. The power players that they had in the past that actually had viewers, Don Lemon, for example, he's on the street arguing with people with his microphone. I mean, wow, his career has taken a pretty pathetic turn.
Poor
And
Lemon.
yeah, they just don't have anyone anymore.
Yeah, it's really sad, but also it's great to see. Rhinoceros, thank you for the yellow boy. It's impossible for Americans to be anti-few. Shoot, how much cash and troops have we sent their way recently? Oh, you mean anti-Jew? No, yeah. We love the Jews. Everything's great with the Jews. Okay, very cool. Okay, so we will be watching Michigan. I will be excited to see your updates from Mar-a-Lago, Emily. I'm a little bit jealous that you'll be there, but I think you'll do a great job. Any parting?
I promise I'll have a couple drinks in your honor, Chrissy.
Please have a few. Any parting thoughts? What's coming up for you, and where can people follow you?
Yeah, at Emily Rose Finn on all social media. I post a lot of my clips from Real America's Voice on there. Yeah, it's just I guess we have 5 days until this election, so that's like laser focus on all of that, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens the next 4 years. Are we going to have to be subjected to a Kamala Harris presidency, or are we finally getting Trump back? November 5th is going to be a big day, a very big day. So I hope that your viewers tune in to Real America's Voice to see all the coverage that we have with this crazy election cycle. And I hope to be back on your show sometime, Chrissy.
Oh my God, definitely. Do they like tell you, because you're like a news person, do they tell you or suggest to you like what to wear, or do you just kind of, I've always been curious like how that works. Like how do you figure out like to get your like news wardrobe assembled?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some general guidelines. When I worked at One American News, for whatever reason, the news director there, she just she thought my arms looked too skinny on camera, and so she actually told me I looked like I was anorexic. That was awful.
You're like, thank you.
Yeah, like Trump, like when he wore his vest, he looked skinny. No, but I had to wear like long sleeves and blazers because of this woman's opinion, which was really frustrating. But I will say, at News Nation, Real America's Voice, no one has ever really given me too much direction about what to wear. I'm very rock and roll. I wear a lot of leather. I love the color pink. I wear a lot of pink. And so I just try to dress how I would normally dress.
Okay,
You got to feel
cool.
comfortable when you're doing this job.
Yeah.
If you're all like stuffy and you, I don't know, aren't feeling good in the clothes that you're wearing,
Mhm.
then your delivery isn't going to come across very authentic and well either. So I will say the one time at News Nation that I got in a little bit of trouble, the president of the network told me to take my earmuffs off when I was in Iowa reporting on the caucuses and record-breaking cold temperatures, like ridiculous snow in your face the whole time. We were live for my God, probably 10 to 12 hours. It was absolutely insane in Iowa. I look at my phone, I get this text saying, take your earmuffs off. I'm like, oh my God, I've been working my ass off for you
were
all
they
day.
pink?
And all you have to say
Were they
is my
pink,
earmuffs.
Emily? Were the earmuffs
Terrible.
pink? Were they huge, fluffy pink
They
earmuffs? That's what
were,
I'm
and they were
imagining.
really cute, but maybe a little distracting on TV.
So what did they want you to wear? Just like a regular old hat?
I think they just wanted to see me freeze out there.
Boring.
We wanted
Yeah,
her
they're
as miserable as possible.
They just want your ears to fall off. Unbelievable, Emily. Well,
That
you're the
would have made a
best.
great news story. That would have gone viral.
You're absolutely delightful. Can't wait to have you back. Would love to have you on my other show, Simcast, sometime if you are ever free on a Sunday, but we can work that out later. And I'll be excited to see your updates from Mar-a-Lago, and I'll be excited to see all of the election coverage at Real America's Voice. And everyone follow Emily right now on Twitter at Emily Rose Finn. Thank you, Emily. Thank you to the chat for all your comments and questions. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Chrissy.